Star Wars. Does it suck? I've been sitting here thinking about that. I don't know. I've been thinking about it at work. Just been watching the new Obi-Wan Kenobi show, and I was wondering, like, why is this so, I don't know, like, held to such a high standard? Everybody says it's like the best thing in the world. Like, people like get super into Star Wars. They cosplay it. They read the books. They have all this fandom about it. But is it really good, or was it just that it came on the scene? Was it the 70s or the 80s? Early 80s, late 70s? There wasn't a whole lot of stuff about space then, so it kind of like, it's a nostalgic thing, I think. And then Star Trek came out around the same time. So people usually say, like, do you like Star Wars or Star Trek? And I usually will say I prefer Stargate. And I think I've talked about this before, because remember Nightwolf got really psyched about it because he's a big Stargate guy. And I'll tell you the reasons why I prefer Stargate and Battlestar Galactica also. But let's go into the details of Star Wars. I've got some visual aids here. I found this timeline I was looking at. So, the first movie, A New Hope, came out 1980, I don't know what the fuck, somewhere around there. Empire Strikes Back usually is people's favorites. The first one is also really good. The third one, Return of the Jedi, I don't remember anything about that. I'm pretty sure I've seen it, but I just don't remember anything about it. Maybe I need to rewatch that one. And then you got the first 3 episodes that everybody says was crap because of Jar Jar Binks and just like all this political stuff. And it's like not very interesting. It's just like a lot of good CGI. And then I don't even know what some of this other stuff is, like the Acolyte and Bad Batch. I think that's like some animated stuff. Andor, I think that's even come out yet. Obi-Wan Kenobi, I guess, was pretty good. My favorites are the ones that everybody hates. Rogue One and Solo. Besides the first 2 movies that everybody's, well, I also like those. But Rogue One and Solo I thought were really good. And everybody else said they're crap. Rogue Squadron, is that a movie or is that a game? The Mandalorian. I like The Mandalorian show and I like Boba Fett. So that's kind of like, I feel like that's got a lot more lore in the books because people seem to know a lot about Mandalorians before the Mandalorian show came out. And then Boba Fett's about a guy who had Mandalorian armor that he stole. Everybody liked Boba Fett from the first movies. So the thing about Star Wars is, like, I saw a video about if the stormtroopers were actually accurate. Somebody had made, I think it was Corridor Digital, and they were just wrecking everybody, and like it was no big deal, and the Empire won, and the Death Star, it like shot the Earth and blew it up. And that made me think, like, wait, why would it be shooting the Earth? Does Star Wars even take place in a universe where the Earth exists? Because they never talk about Earth. Like, all the people come from Tatooine or Endor or what's the one where Luke Skywalker was? That's Tatooine, right? What's the one with the Naboo, that planet? And it's like nobody ever talks about, like, you know, humans evolved. Do they have space travel and they went and like colonized all these? This is like in a galaxy far, far away. So it may not even involve humans as we know it. These are just like other humans that evolved elsewhere. So I don't know why anybody gets super invested into the story. It's not like, you know, the rebels are the good guys because they're more on the side of humanity. It's not really, like, there's humans everywhere and there's all kinds of other aliens everywhere. And it's like, I don't know why people want to, like, settle on these desert planets either where there's no water or resources. It seems like in a lot of these space shows, there's a planet and they visit it and there's like one settlement on the whole planet, and that kind of defines the whole. You don't have like a lot of other planets that are like Earth, where there's like, you know, there's Japanese people and there's Canadians and you got South Africans and not like 50 or 100 languages and 300,000 religions. It's like, this is the planet where the lizard people live. This is the planet where the ghost robots live or whatever. It's like everybody's on the same. It's kind of like if Hitler had won on all these other planets and he made everybody the same. But then you have like Star Wars. You have the cantina. Like, it's all a bunch of different kinds of aliens. They're all getting along. The robot, the drones, they even like squeak and make beep bop boop sounds, but everybody understands it somehow, and it's like everybody speaks everybody's language, or they have like an internal like language converter or something. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. The lightsaber, which is like everybody's coolest weapon ever designed, whatever, doesn't even make sense. Like, a laser doesn't just go out and stop. That's like if the Ghostbusters photon whatever gizmo just like went out a certain distance and it stopped. It has to go until it hits something. That's how lasers work. And then like the stormtroopers' laser weapons are not very accurate, and lasers are like supposed to be super accurate. Like, they never hit anything. It's just, it's kind of dumb. And then there's the whole thing about the Force. Like, I'm not an expert on Star Wars stuff, but I know like the Force is based on these midichlorians that are like inside certain people. So you got like the special people that can do it. But it's also kind of like a secret society or religion where if you want to get the full story, if you want to know what actually, like, to learn all of the Force, you have to go to the dark side. You have to become evil. So it's kind of like, is the Force really good? If you, like, the more you learn of it, the more evil you have to become. Like, to use the lightning powers and choking people and stuff, you have to... You can't see my hand move gestures with this thing in the way. But, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, why is the Force the good thing if it's like you have to become evil to use choking and lightning? It doesn't make sense. And if you're the Empire and you have like all these spaceships that are as big as a planet, and you have, I don't know how many habitable planets are in the Star Wars universe, why are they even trying? What's their motivation? Why are they after these rebels, or looking for Jedis, or trying to like wipe out certain planets? Like, why do they care? I don't understand what they care about. They've already got everything, it seems like. Is it just badly written? Is it just I don't know. But then if you compare it to something like Star Trek, let's look at Star Trek. Star Trek is more like, Earthlings join the Federation and they get together with other alien races and they're on a quest to like go out in the universe and discover unknown planets and go where no man has gone before. But at the same time, it's also a little bit too, like, they have too much power. Like this, I love this new Star Trek. It's not even on this picture, I just realized. Star Trek Voyages? What's it called? Strange New Worlds. Yeah, Strange New Worlds. I really like that one. And I really liked Star Trek Discovery the first season because it was all about like funguses and spores, and there's a spore drive, and there's like these they're mentioning Paul Stamets sort of, and they could like warp everywhere, and they were discovering new shit because that's what they're out there to do. But then it got like super woke, and like every character has to be either a transgender or gay or something. They can't just be normal people. They have, in the future, apparently it's like flipped where it's 90% trans or gay and 10% of people are straight. And it's almost unwatchable now. Picard, actually pretty good show. I kind of like it. But I didn't see a lot of the Next Generation, which is kind of based on, so it's like the Borg are back. And they go back in the past. Like in the Star Trek shows, a lot of times they'll go back in the past, and it's like real cringy because they're like in modern day times with all this Star Trek technology, and it's like, they can just like fabricate anything with these, like, if they want something to eat, they can just make it out of a machine. If they need to do something, like they have to figure out a problem, they can just like program this. The Star Trek ships are just amazing supercomputers that they can just figure out anything if you can just imagine what you need to do, and it can just like, sure, we'll just make one of those and do this and teleport you over here and have it. They can just do anything. It's just too powerful. But as far as like the spaceship fighting, like in Star Wars, it was really good. But was it better than something like The Last Starfighter? Because that was out the same time, and that was pretty good, like spaceship battle kind of a movie. But nobody ever talks about Last Starfighter because it didn't, like, I don't know, didn't keep going. There wasn't a lot of mythos around it. But Star Trek, there's not a whole lot of space battles as much. I mean, there's a few. It's usually just like you got to get past somebody's shield to get a photon torpedo in there. But I also don't like how in Star Trek Next Generation everything was like super clean and like too pristine. Like everything's always just perfect. The original classic Star Trek was more like loose fitting clothes, and they were just more like not really army people, but they were like a Navy kind of military structure to it. I don't remember the Star Trek Enterprise show at all. Deep Space Nine and Voyager I didn't really watch much at all. I haven't seen a whole lot of Star Trek, to tell you the truth, or Star Wars. But what I like is Stargate. Because Stargate is about human beings. And the stakes have been raised. There's always like a bad alien that is trying to destroy you. In the first one, you got SG-1. You got these Egyptian, old lizard people that get inside people and take them over and stuff. And in Atlantis, you got the Wraith, which is kind of like a vampiric kind of really scary guys that drain your energy or something. I can't really remember. But you got all this cool stuff. It's like Atlantis, I guess in SG-1 too, they kind of discover other aliens' technology and they have to figure out how it works. It's not like the humans are just super genius like in Star Trek or in Star Wars. It's like so far into the future, like all this technology is just old. Everything's all rusty and falling apart. But it's like you find something new, like in Atlantis, they find like this whole city, it lights up and it's got all this kind of tech that they have to try to figure it out. And you got these 0-point energy modules that sucks energy out of another universe, so it's like infinite energy in a small contained thing. And it's like there's all this stuff that can happen with that because you don't have a lot of stuff already established. And it's like humans versus the universe. In SG-1 though, they have that one alien guy that's with them, and in Atlantis they got Jason Momoa with a big ass pistol. I mean, it's just good actors too. They got way more, better actors, I think, than like Star Trek and Star Wars. I don't really remember any good actors really in Star Wars. It's all really bad acting. Star Trek, pretty good acting, I guess. Like Picard's really good. This new guy, Anson Mount, that was in Hell on Wheels, he's really good. But like Battlestar Galactica also fucking amazing. It's like an epic fucking pre-human civilization story of like a sci-fi advanced civilization that invents AI robots that almost destroy humanity, and they have to like escape, and then they become like the cavemen of our universe. And it's all this political intrigue, like trying to figure out the Cylons, like which ones are which and who's who, and do they even know if they are a Cylon? And they're just the first season or whatever, it's like every 55 minutes or something they have to teleport away because the aliens are on their fucking ass chasing them, and they have to figure out why they keep figuring out where they're at. And it's just this song is like leads the Cylons to like discover each other, and it's like all relates to the future, and it's just like tripping balls, man, just thinking about it. It's so wild. But was there a lot of technology in that? I guess there kind of was. There was like cool ships. The ships in the Galactica are almost like characters of their own. Like the game, especially if you play the game, like all these different ships and types. And I don't know, it's like a whole fleet that is working together. But like they're humans, but they're pre-humans, so it's kind of like not really humans. Not modern day humans, but they're like they all have to come together and fight this one threat. It's like you got motives. Stargate and Battlestar, you get motivations. That's the thing. Star Trek, you got discovery is the motivation, and there's all these like first contact situations with it. But Star Wars, there's fucking nothing. Like, why do you give a fuck about Star Wars? Like, why is there even a war in the stars? I don't know. There's good versus evil. There's this heroic journey, the hero's journey, but why would you get invested in it? It's not even really humans. It's like, why are they even fighting in the first place? Or why does the Force have good and evil if it's like, I don't know. I don't get Star Wars. Star Wars kind of sucks. I mean, it's good and it's entertaining, but compared to all this other stuff that you got, I mean, I'd rather watch Battlestar or Stargate or Star Trek, which is not really that good, but some parts of Star Trek is good. But like Star Wars, like hardly any of it's good. It's got really good CGI. production value's off the charts, but like, it's not really a good show. Maybe I need to read the books more. I don't know. I'm just not a big Star Wars guy. If anybody is, maybe you can tell me. Like, actually, the fucking thing that wasn't on the timeline for Star Wars that was my jam in the 80s was the fucking Ewoks. There's a whole movie about this boy and girl, like their brother and sister, and they get stranded on this planet with the Ewoks. And there was a cartoon series. I think I had some comic books that had the Ewoks in it, but like, it's not even like listed as a Star Wars movie. Where else would the Ewoks exist? Of course it's a Star Wars movie. What are you talking about? That was the best. Yeah, just not a whole lot redeeming about Star Wars, though. All the aliens, too. The aliens in Star Wars, they're like Jim Henson's Muppets. I guess all the aliens in all these shows are not very good. Probably Star Trek has the best aliens, but Battlestar has robots, so I don't know. Yeah, if anybody has anything to say about Star Wars, if you think I'm wrong, show me where I'm wrong. I don't know. I just don't get it.